Hi guys, how are you today? We're raining, cool. Ugh, I don't like it. But you might notice that we have a slightly different view this time around. Renee has converted this place into a television station. We have, you might see this big old boom sitting here in my face. Now we're going to have no more jiggly cameras, no more flickering and whatnot in that. He's got it all set up. We have tripods everywhere, cameras all over the place, so you'll be able to see the palette. You'll be able to see everything a lot more clearly. Hopefully the video quality and the sound is better. That was a big one. Last week we had trouble with the sound, so I think Renee has it all sorted out. Hopefully you can all hear me. The other nice thing is that because all of the other equipment has been freed up because of these new cameras, I can now see the chat. I can look down and I can see who's here. So I want to say good morning to a couple of people. Sheila Landry's on. Good morning, Sheila. Deanna Swindlehurst. Hi, sweetie. Nice to have you here. Oh, and of course, Linda Safranco is here. Linda, thank you. You are a godsend, my dear. You show up every Saturday. And Wendy Eddy, nice to see you. Thanks for joining us this morning. Liz Garcia, nice to see you too, hun. And Kay Reynolds, oh my goodness, everybody's on this morning. Judy, thanks for your message this morning, Judy Thacker. That was so sweet, and I really do appreciate it. And we're going to take care of that phone stand issue for you today, too. And Robin Storm, hey, sweetie, glad to have you here. Oh, this is so cool. I get to see everybody that's on. Linda Morgan. There's a few names I can't. Elsie Sturm, thank you, sweetie. Glad to see you here, too. Diane Hendricks. Oh, my gosh. Everybody and their puppas here today.
Yeah, I think my microphone's working, too.
And his microphone is working today, too.
Yay!
So I think we have all of our issues sorted out. I've had a miserable week with computer issues and internet issues and ugh. So my color of the week didn't go this week at all. Well, it did, but we had to record it because we couldn't get online. And then had a few issues connecting with the internet and with Facebook in particular. And so my color of the day posts and my thought for the day posts, they were just totally messed up this week. So that was not fun. I hate having computer issues. I did have lots of Happy Mail this week. I love Happy Mail.
You got Happy Mail?
I got Happy Mail this week. I got some stuff from Stampers Anonymous. Those amazing bug stamps and butterfly stamps. They're incredible. Of course, I had to play, so I was playing the other night. And then I got this week, too. This came from Pat Manuel. It's a lovely, lovely card. And inside was the coolest thing. Sweet little note. Pat, thank you so much. You got me right in the feels with that one. This is one of those pop grip things, the pop sockets for your phone, and it has a sugar skull on it. You know me and my sugar skulls.
And some roses.
And roses. I love my sugar skulls. So Pat, thank you so much. I absolutely love this, and I greatly appreciate it. You were so sweet to send that along. And then, of course, my partner in crime, Miss Deb. I don't know if she's out of bed yet. She might be. She sent me a goodie box too, and I got these from Southern Ridge Trading. I'm so excited about these. These are steampunk bumblebees.
Steampunk bumblebees.
So yeah, they're so cool. They got little gears and everything in them. They're really cute. So you know that's coming up in a project. And then she sent me some stamps. She knows I love my bumblebees, so I got a little Be Happy stamp with the queen bee in it. And then she sent me this one. This is one of the new ones from Stampendous. And this one is, I don't know if you can see that quite clear.
No, not really.
Here, we'll pull it closer to the camera. It's got dolphins and all sorts of beachy scenes on it. It's really pretty. So, Miss Deb, thank you so much for that. I love it. And what else came this week? Oh, the new, this big boom thing for the camera. That arrived.
You're welcome.
Oh, we got the opaque pens in.
Oh, yeah.
The white pens. Those came in.
There you go.
The Uniballs. That's these ones here. Uniball Signo in the white, opaque white. We got those. Oh, and pass me that. Those.
Ah, yes.
This is our giveaways for this week. This is so cool. Check this out. So we've got 2 of these goodie bags for 2 of you today. And it's got some fun stuff in it. And that we will choose winners for those this afternoon. these nice little giveaways.
There.
There's,
Get a better look. It's got the logo
get a-
on it and stuff.
I got some stuff from Sticker Mule this week.
And we got stickers too.
We get stickers, we got magnets, we got a bunch of stuff. So
Stickle. We got stickles.
he likes stickers. So we get a bunch of goodies to give away this week too. So that's fun.
Surprise treats.
Yeah,
Yes.
surprise treats. So I'm not telling you what's in those goodie bags, but they're what, in the $30 range, $25, $30 range? I think they're $25. Anyway.
Oh, Sandy McTeer's on.
Hey, Miss Sandy.
And
Mwah.
she says, wow, that was fast from Sticker Mule.
Yeah, it was. It was pretty quick. And it was really nice. Like, the stuff is really nice. So we got
why
that.
am I reading off questions when you got the chat right in front
I
of you?
got the chat right there. It's nice to have it here because then I can see who's playing. So don't forget, hit that like button, and if you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button on there,
Hopefully that
and
didn't
leave us a
screen.
comment in the comment section so that that way you're entered for the giveaways.
We're good.
So we have a bunch of stuff in. Both Deb and Sandy got a bunch of stuff up on their website. So Deb's loaded up with stamps. She's got tons of new stamps on her website, including the one that we're using today. So if I don't have it on mine, so if you're looking for the stamp that we're going to use today, you go to paintingwithdeb.com. She's going to have what you need there. And Miss Sandy got that the bug stamp. She's got them up on her website. The ones with the butterflies and the cicadas and the beetles. I love that stamp set. I had
Oh, it's
way
really
too much
bright.
for that. So, good day for coffee with a friend
Or your son.
or my son.
Hi.
Hi. Cheers.
I have coffee.
So, today we're going to paint coffee with friends. Well, the pattern is called The Perfect Blend. Cup of coffee and a good friend. That's the perfect blend. So we're going to have some fun with a stamp, with some fun lettering, some antiquing techniques, and it's actually a pretty simple design. And the original design had the patterns drawn on, but I'm going to show you how to use stencils to create it. So it's a lot of fun.
I was gonna do that. Hey, boof.
What are you doing?
Yeah. So if Kay's watching, we
Sandy, she says not to tease y'all, but I got to see Renee this week on FaceTime. Well, he's much more groomed today, Sandy. His mustache has been trimmed and the beard has been oiled, and he looks very neat and tidy. Ish. So he's awake. There's the bonus, though.
Oh, I'm gonna cancel that.
So we're going to have some fun with some paint and some stamps and some other fun stuff, and probably a few laughs along the way, because that's
Most likely.
inevitable in this household. It's Father's Day weekend.
Yeah.
So hubby's getting some new toys for his workshop this weekend
The garage.
in the garage. So, and then he's also getting his favorite steak dinner for tomorrow. So we're going to have some fun today, because tomorrow is all about Dad.
Did you take a screenshot?
Everybody wants to see what you look like, because you say no.
Yeah.
There's Bonnie Duncan. Molly Ann Stocks. Honey, Molly Ann had a birthday the other day.
Oh.
Yeah, so happy. I know it's belated, Molly Ann, but happy birthday. And Linda Sprouse is here. And Lori Widdenmeyer is here. My goodness.
Didn't think of it.
Okay, you're going to have to be careful now.
Yeah, now I'm targeted. The man of mystery.
Man of mystery. Yeah, I know what the mystery is. Yeah, he's single. No mystery.
So true.
All right, ladies, if you guys are ready to get started on today's project, so am I. Before he gets out of hand.
Yeah, I'm good.
You're good? So,
Look at that video. That is nice.
he's so happy with this. These new cameras, he's tickled pink. And that I can bump the table now and it doesn't affect the cameras. So,
Hopefully.
hopefully.
You flip the table, it's a different story.
I have no intention of flipping the table. So I started on this piece with just a base coat of country red on one side, and then I measured a space on the other side that is 4 3/4 inches. This is a 12 by 12 canvas, so this is 4 3/4 inches. I measured that off, marked it, and then I ran a line of tape.
Bob is nearby, don't worry.
Yep, Bob hasn't gone anywhere. And a line of tape, and then I've base coated this side with, I base coated it with light mocha because I could not find my bottle of buttermilk to save my soul. So, of course, once I had it all base coated with light mocha, then I found the bottle, so, because that's how that works.
Okay, sorry. I'm just gonna have to make a quick adjustment.
What are you adjusting?
The focus.
Okay. Bing. Boom. There we go. Very nice. Nice and clear now.
Yeah, but I'm gonna turn off the autofocus
Okay.
so it doesn't move on me. There you go.
Yep. So the trick that I use for doing this is I taped off first and based in the red. And then I took the tape off and then I moved it over so that the edge of the tape was on the edge of the red paint. And then we should have a nice straight line separating both of these colors. So our next step is to add a stamp detail to this. And now the stamp that I'm using is called, who knew, coffee. If I can remember where it is. There it is. This is a really fun stamp. This one is all coffee related, obviously. And it's great. It's got little sayings and everything in it. Thank you for the coffee. Thank you for the chat. Thank you for friendship. Good cup of coffee with a good friend is the best therapy. Well, painting is therapy. I won't say it's cheaper than therapy because, hello, it's not.
I like ballistic therapy.
Ballistic therapy? Yeah. This is a great stamp. Now, I know Deb has these on her website. So, but ordinarily you would use a stamp pad for this, but I'm going to show you a different technique for this. It's just easier. Stamp pads are really hard to find these days, like good ones. So I'm going to use my brayer and a little bit of black paint because I like it this way. I like using the little brayer. It's a great, oh my goodness. Can't get the paint out of the bottle though.
Did you decide to name the gnome yet?
I'm thinking his name is going to be Norman.
Norman?
Norman the gnome.
Norm?
Norm.
Norm the gnome?
Norm the gnome.
Norm the gnome.
All of these different artists came to mind and I couldn't make it work with gnome. So, Norman. Figured the cookie can be called Bob. The gnome can be called Norman. So I loaded up that mini brayer with just with lamp black and just roll it over top of the stamp like so. Of course, this is probably not a good idea to do it there, but
Looks great. Great sound.
and I'm going to drop the stamp right there. I like to take it off the page a little bit or off the surface a little. Ta-da! And then I'm going to reload it. Norm the gnome.
Norman gnome?
Norman gnome.
Homie gnomey?
The gnomey. Hanging with my gnomies.
And can you guess who said that?
No,
Sandy.
Sandy. So, and then all I do is just move that stamp. Good grief.
Did it bite you or
No, it slipped. It escaped.
did it bite you?
So there we go. I'm going to press that into place.
After Norman Rockwell.
There we go. Norman the gnome. I think he's very cute. Now, the fun part about this is it doesn't have to be perfect. In most cases, it's just better if it's not. And then I'm just going to fill in along that edge just by touching the surface. So now I have that stamp all over the background on that. I'm going to dry this really quick.
Because you're wearing white.
Is that, yeah, that is it, all right?
Yep.
It's like if I have spaghetti for dinner and I'm going to be wearing a white blouse. So, we'll let that dry.
Looks good. Looks really good. I wanted to see what it looked like. Yeah, and the low latency helps too.
Yep. And Mary Galliotto is watching today. Hi, Mary. Hope you're well. Miss Karen is here. Marjorie Eaton. There's nothing normal about Normie. That's the understatement of the century. So this should be just about dry. There we go. So next we're going to age this a little bit. I'm going to wash my brayer here. Just roll it on paper towel, take off the excess paint. I get a kick out of this. These little brayers, they're fantastic. But I've been trying for years to clean these things. I thought they were a pain in the butt to clean until I watched Sandy do a live one day. And then I had one of those, well, duh moments. If you push on that little yellow thing, that roller pops right out. And then you can just simply wash it like you'd wash the dishes. But here's me trying to wash the whole thing right in the handle. But thanks to Sandy's brilliance, I now have the ability to take it apart. Because, rocket science, apparently. So, but they clean up pretty quickly, pretty easily. So, a little bit of water, brush cleaner, and away you go. So, our next stage is to antique this. And I want this to have like a parchment look. So, the color I'm going to use is raw sienna. You can use honey brown. I like raw sienna if I can find some. This is terracotta. There's raw sienna. You can use honey brown. Matter of fact, my raw sienna is almost empty, so I'll use a little bit of honey brown.
Yay! Everybody seems to be getting their stuff. I've been coasting this week.
Oh, that must be Sheila.
Yep. Coasting.
Sheila, well, you know what? Sheila needs to take a break every once in a while because, man, that lady is busy. Like, really busy. I mean, she cuts everything by hand, so, she's got to take a break. Not to mention, I mean, she's been, she calls it coasting. She's really not. She's not coasting. She's been working on some other stuff. So she's been playing with pastels. I mean, that Alice in Wonderland, the Through the Looking Glass piece that she did is spectacular.
Apparently, our audience is slacking, not hitting the like button.
Oh.
Linda's laying down the law.
So I'm using a little bit of Jo Sonja's Fast Dry Glaze. You can do this with water. You don't need to use glaze. I just use glaze. And I'm picking up a little bit of that raw sienna or honey brown, and I'm just washing that color in like so.
Wide angle lens makes a difference. You can have the palette in the shot.
I can have the palette in the shot. It's great.
And they're wondering why it's moving.
What's moving? Oh, the chat.
What? Not asphaltum?
No, not yet. Not yet. Nope, the first one is a little of that honey brown or raw sienna. I just want to make this look a little parchmenty.
Parchmenty?
Parchmenty. It's a word. Could be.
Could be a word.
It could be. So, see, that just warms that up. This is with the honey brown. I want to see what it looks like with the raw sienna. If I can get some out of that bottle. There's not much in it.
That's a weird drop. Why did we have...
I don't know.
We had like 50 people just disappear.
Did they come back?
Yeah, it looks like it.
All right.
Also did the share. Yeah, share away. Share the live to friends and family and get them interested into doing artsy fartsy stuff.
Come into play in my sandbox. So I'm taking this color around the edges as well, just to give it a nice finish. I kind of like the raw sienna better than the honey brown, but it's okay. So I have fairly uniform coat on there. I'm not really worried about it being too neat and tidy. I just don't want it streaky, so it's hence the reason I'm just doing this in a circular fashion. And I'm changing directions frequently. So I'm going to stop putzing with it so I mess it up. I'm going to dry this really quick. And then we're going to use the Schwaltem.
Is it a wood panel or a canvas?
I'm working on a 12 by 12 canvas. That was my goof for the week. So I wanted to order a couple of profile canvases from Michael's because they've had canvas on sale for the last little while. And I wanted 12 by 12s and I was in a hurry and I didn't really pay attention. And I saw 12 by 12 canvas back stapled, not thinking. And I just hit purchase. I just ordered them. When they delivered my order, there was 2 packages of canvas, 7 canvases in each. So I ended up, instead of getting 2 profile canvases, I ended up with 14 12 by 12s. So I have lots of canvas. So I'm good for a while, I think. They weren't the thick profile ones, but that's okay. These will do just nicely. I couldn't believe I ordered 2 packages of 7. Thinking I was getting 2 packages of 2 canvases.
How do you prep the canvases? Because they don't have textured surface.
A couple of coats of either the chalky gesso or just regular gesso. 2 coats. Give them let it dry. Give it a light sanding in between coats, and then set them aside to dry. I find with a lot of the canvas that you get at Michael's or canvas that you buy at places like Walmart or the dollar store, the canvas is okay. The quality of the canvas is not top of the line, but it's okay. But they have a tendency to sag a little bit in the middle, so they don't feel all that tight. So what I do is after I put my gesso on and the gesso is completely dry, I go to the back of my canvas and I get a spritzer full of water and I just mist the back of the canvas like this. And then I take a hairdryer or a heat gun and I dry the canvas on the back. Now what that does, because the canvas is actually a cotton duck, it will shrink because of the heat. So what it will help tighten up that canvas so that you get that nice tight as a drum.
Apparently Sheila says more giveaways.
More giveaways.
More giveaways. We got 2 surprise packages for you guys.
Yeah, we get 2 nice surprise packs for you guys. So that little bit of heat on the back plus the gesso will give you a nice tight. Even though these are inexpensive canvases, it'll give you a nice tight finish. So now I need a little bit of asphaltum.
There's your asphalt.
There's my asphaltum.
That means we're going to have a lot of 12 by 12 projects coming up.
Most likely.
Most likely.
They're actually a good size. They're easy. When I'm shopping for surfaces, especially for doing these lives, I look for things that are compact so that they're not off the screen, that they're easy to handle when we're doing
And she's
this.
still able to lift them up
and
to
I'm
the
still
camera.
able to lift them up. So
Because the downside with the cameras we're using now, we lost some zoom functionality.
yeah,
So she'll be, if she needs to show you little details and stuff like that, she'll have to pick up the
I
project.
can lift it up.
But it will be very high quality. You'll be able to see all the little details.
Yeah. So I'm just putting a float of asphaltum along that seam, that border right there, all the way down and across the bottom and around the corners. I like to see my corners fairly dark. I don't know. I like how this looks, that it sort of encapsulates everything and gives it a nice aged look.
Any chance we could paint the wine glasses on your wall? Oh, yeah, the Shiraz.
The Moscato and the Shiraz. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm always open to suggestions.
Sure. How about this? I'll create a poll. What's another pattern you guys want to see? I'll take the 2 most popular ones, and then you guys can vote on which one.
There you go. That's a good idea. I know somebody had mentioned doing the bleeding hearts.
Now, is it wine with an H?
No. Smart ass.
We're seeing Halloween stuff, bleeding hearts, beehive tray,
Oh, yeah, the
wine cellar.
Farm Fresh wine cellar. I've done that one already.
Yeah, I think we did do wine cellar as a live.
Yeah,
It was
that
a
was one
much
of the-
older one.
Yeah, it was from the very beginning last year.
Teapot. The teapot.
Yes, the teapot, the blue teapot. I know the one they mean.
Oh, isn't that for?
I am
Zoom?
teaching that next week.
Ah, okay.
But yeah, after I teach it,
It's a couple. You got the 6-month thing, right?
no,
No, not with those.
not with those.
Okay. Country fresh bee,
Yeah, that's a country fresh honey. I know the one they're talking about.
strawberries,
Oh no, there's a subject I haven't seen. I haven't done in a long time is strawberries.
magnolia.
Yep.
I am sick of summer already. How about something wintry?
Ooh. She must live
Somebody
someplace
just
hot.
typed in, I cannot chat. You are. I would like to see oleander tea. I believe that is for.
Oh, that one, actually, we can do that one anytime.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So, yeah, I have my my border, all of that shading around the outside edge. I love this look. I think this is fun. But we have, before I take that tape off, I like to put a nice gold border on things. I got to find my steel edge ruler, though. And I don't know where it is.
It's in. Dragonflies, hummingbirds and morning glory.
Oh,
Oh, the cat's still here.
the sooters.
You usually kick her out.
We do, because she's noisy.
I didn't realize the cat was down here. She was fast asleep. The lemon and bee theme? Lemons and bee?
We did that one last week, the honey and lemon. So I have my gold paint pen and some tape, and I just realized I actually want to take this tape off before I do this. So I'm going to remove the tape, and again, I put my tape 45-degree angle to remove it so that I don't pull fresh paint off.
You came to bug me, didn't you?
You know, Miss Sitters. So I'm going to use my gold paint pen, and I'm using a steel edge ruler for this. And I'm coming about 1/8 of an inch away from that edge because I want to cover up all of that schmecklies there. Oof. And I'm going to use my gold paint pen. Now I use a cork-backed one so that that ruler is not pressing on the edge. And I'm going to put a gold border. This pen is hooped, I think. There we are. So putting a nice gold line right along that border between the two. There we are.
We're seeing a lot of people asking for lotus.
Ooh, a lotus flower. Now that's a nice idea. So this is the paint pen that I use. This is a Deco Color Premium Prime. This is an oil-based opaque gold metallic pen. The cheapest place I've seen them is on Amazon. They're fantastic. I really like these ones because you can get a nice metallic look out of them. And they work just like a marker. So they're really easy to deal with. So I'm just going to use that to finish off the edges. So,
Old-fashioned hollyhocks.
hollyhocks, that's another flower that would be fun to do. I'm going to dry this real quick.
Okay. So we got wine glasses, strawberries, lotus flowers.
Lotus flowers, that's anything Thanksgiving. Fuchsia and hummingbirds. Kay Reynolds, sugar skulls. I'm with you, sister. I think we should do a sugar skull at some point.
Wine glasses. Lotus. Strawberries?
Yeah, strawberries would be fun. That's not a subject. We usually see that in traditional toll, but you don't often, not these days. I haven't seen a lot of it these days, so that'd be a fun one to do, I think. So now I have to back tape this. Ow.
I kind of want to see sugar skulls too, so I'm putting that in there. I had a motorcycle with sugar skulls all over it.
You had a motorcycle with my sugar skulls all over
Yeah,
it.
I took your design and
Yeah.
did it with my color scheme.
So
And ghosted it too.
I'm back taping this right over that gold border.
All right, here we go.
So that now we have just the red exposed. And I'm going to grab some soft black. I love soft black. I have some, I think. Yes, I do.
There we go.
And the same way I put the color on the coffee side of this, I'm going to do this to the red using soft black.
Oops, sugar skulls is winning. With 43% of the vote.
Wow.
Uh-oh. 38.
It's going to drop.
Okay.
So I'm using just a little bit of soft black for this, and don't let the amount scare you. I know it scares people, but don't let it scare you. Looks like a lot, it's not. And you're going to do the same thing to the red that we did to this side with the raw sienna. And we're just going to tone that red. Gives it a nice warm, aged look. I like how this looks.
Can I help you?
You're sitting in her chair, apparently.
Can I help you? No kneading.
Sid has made herself at home in his lap because apparently he's sitting in her chair.
Did you do calla lilies? I think you did calla lilies already.
No, I haven't done calla lilies.
Oh, not as alive, no.
No. I've taught them often enough, but I've never done one as alive. That would be a fun one too. So you can control how much of this color you get on. I like it so that it's not uniform. I like seeing variations in it. I like seeing some, a little dark in some places, not as dark in others, especially at the edges. I love how this looks at the edges.
How about a sugar skull wine glass full of strawberries?
That would that could work.
That could work. That's a lot of...
It's a lot of elements, but it's not necessarily impossible. I think it'd be fun, actually. I usually try to tie something when I'm doing sugar skulls. Try to tie something to it that's relevant. I noticed I had
Strawberries is winning now.
someone expressed some concern that there was a crucifix in one of my sugar skull designs, and I thought, well, it is
Cross, maybe.
yeah, it was just a cross, but they were, they expressed some concerns about it. But once I explained that the sugar skull is actually part of a Christian connection to the sugar skull, then they had a different attitude towards it, which most of the time anyone that has some concerns about it, it's simply because they don't understand the significance.
Sugar skull with your heart cherries? Sandy
My
McTeers?
heart cherries? I love those. I haven't done a skull in quite a while. So next Saturday, I am doing a live. We're just going to be doing a small project because I have a Zoom class in the morning and I have another one in the evening. So I have a full schedule this week of Zoom classes. I am teaching with Art Waves for the Art Waves convention. So starting on Thursday, I have a class on Thursday, I have 2 on Saturday, and I have another one on Sunday. So I have my hands full. But we are going live. I'm going to do just a small project, something simple and something fun. Haven't completely decided what that'll be. Might be a phone stand. Haven't done a phone stand in a while, so it might be a phone stand.
You're stepping on my microphone.
Apparently, the cat feels Renee is in need of some love. She's climbing all over him. Okay, so I think that that's about where I want it. So that little bit of glazing, I use that Joe Sonia's Fast Dry Glaze. You can use water for this. It's just putting a wash of color over it. I like using this method because it kind of gives you, a soft, cloudy look, and it's easy to control where the color goes and how much of it goes on. So now that I have that in place, I can remove my tape and hopefully I haven't messed up my gold border.
I got a hole in my lip. All right, if you haven't voted, vote now because I'm going to end it in 1 minute.
So there we go. So now we have this aged red. Now we're ready to trace and transfer everything onto it. I'm going to dry it though, because this one is really wet. And I like this sort of distressed looking tone on that gold border. I like it. So this is the fun part. I get to show you how to transfer this lettering on so that we get it on nice and straight.
Got 30 seconds till the vote closes. And next weekend's project has been determined.
Not next weekend, it's the weekends after.
Weekend after, sorry.
So we have 2 line drawings for for this one. We have the lettering. We have to make sure that it's not crooked and going uphill or down. So I'll show you how I do that. So I take a ruler and I go across the base of the lettering right here so that I know that it's nice and straight. And I take a pencil and I put a nice straight line all the way across, like so. You only have to do it to one row. And then you have to decide
3,
how far you want it. I'm going to go with 4.5 inches, or 4.25 inches, sorry.
2,
So 4.25 inches.
1.
So here is the line for the 4.25 inches. I'm going to mark that on my surface. And then, this is just a graphite pencil. I'm going to take my chalk pencil and I'm going to draw a straight line right across.
So, out of the 61 votes, that's only half of you guys. Strawberries wins.
Strawberries. Okay, so I have to design something using strawberries. Okay, I'm good with that.
Oh, it is a tie. Oh, look at that. It's a tie.
What's the other one?
Sugar skull.
Oh my.
Strawberries and sugar skulls.
Strawberries and sugar skulls. Cool. So here is my line drawing. Remember that line? I'm going to line that up with that chalk line. Comme ça. So that that is nice and straight. And I put it too low. I put it too low. Rocket scientist today.
What is a chalk pencil?
It's just, it is literally a pencil that has, instead of lead, it has chalk in it. And it is very easy to remove, as you can see. So now I have to do this again because I oopsied. I went 4.25 and it should have been 5. Let me see.
Where do you find the ghost writers in Canada?
Most sewing supply places, believe it or not, because the ghost pen is actually, or a ghost pencil is exactly that. It's a seamstress tool. So it's 5 inches, not 4.25. So here's my 5-inch mark. And my 5-inch mark. Good gravy.
You know what? She probably already has something in her head for sugar skulls and strawberries in the same design. So it's not
Unlikely.
unlikely that you'll see a combination of both. But we'll see. We'll see. See what she comes
I think
up
that
with.
that's a great challenge, though, actually. I'm open to it. I think it's a great idea.
You think getting your community to
Yeah,
pick
absolutely.
the elements for your next design
Yeah,
thing?
I think that's fun.
That's not a bad idea. It could be fun. It's engaging.
So I'm going to tape my line drawing in place. And again, I've used this line on the line drawing and lined it up so that it is right on that mark. And I'm going to transfer that using white graphite.
You can actually see that line now. The old cameras, you wouldn't be able to see that line.
Actually, I got this one. This is Bohin. It's a white chalk pencil. The one that everybody's talking about, the ghost writer, is this one. This is from Sewline. And this is a seamstress tool. This one has the graphite pencil, the stylus, and it has the white chalk in it. I find these ones are more difficult to get. This one is also a seamstress tool, but it is strictly a white chalk. And it's very handy because you can take this off just with water. So it doesn't leave a smear or an ugly mark on your surface. So either one of these works beautifully. You can tell this one has seen better days. It's been in my studio for a number of years, but this one, it has become my favorite because of it's an easy one to work with. And I got this one from Cupboard Distributing. So you can go to cdwood.com, Chris Hoy's website, and get these ones. They're fantastic. I do like my white chalk pencils. So I'm going to slide my rather weathered looking graphite paper under here. Now, this particular piece, I am not overly concerned with perfect lettering. I do, however, like my lettering to be straight and level. And that's where this this little 6-inch steel ruler comes in, because I like things nice and tidy. So, now these curved letters, you don't really have to worry too much about it, so you can just trace those. Curves and whatnot are forgiving. And this lettering is going to be fairly distressed anyhow, so I'm not too worried about it. So I'm just tracing that on using the white graphite. Easy peasy. And again, these curved letters are quite forgiving. The ones that aren't are the ones that are very straight, lots of vertical and horizontal lines. Those ones, you have to make sure that those lines are straight and true. If they're not, every little flaw will show up and it'll drive you crazy. I'm one of those people that goes around the house straightening all the pictures, so...
And I'm the one that crookets them.
I'm still trying to figure out if you do it on purpose.
I may or may not. Mm-hmm. That's the mystery.
Might be a cause of death.
You just chilling there, cat? You gonna fall asleep sitting there?
Yeah, she's not ready for sleep yet. She's plotting.
She's plotting.
She is. She's going to go torture Gizmo this afternoon. You watch. So this lettering, you'll notice, has got a few little funky little lines around the outside edge. I put those in too. Now, these are the letters that I was talking about that you need to make sure those vertical and horizontal lines are nice and straight, because all those little flaws will stand out like a sore thumb. So I go around and I make sure all my verticals and my horizontals are straight. All of the curved areas you can freehand in. Those are not going to be a big issue.
What time is the class on the 29th?
7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the class on the 29th. That class is for the members. And I posted on the Facebook group for the paid membership that you have until the 30th of June to download your pattern. That's when it is available to you. So if you haven't downloaded it for the class, please make sure you do it soon. There's 2 places you can download it. You can download it on the community page, community tab on the channel. If you're a member, you'll only members will be able to see the link. You can download it there, or you can go to the group Facebook page and download it from there. If you have trouble with either of those locations getting your pattern to download, send me a message through the website. Don't do it on Facebook or Messenger because I may not see it. But message me through my website and we will make sure that you get a copy of your pattern. Because after June 30th, that pattern will be available on my website. And then it will be, you'll have to purchase it. But if you purchase it, if you are a member or joined us, oh my gosh, my tape let go. No. If you're a member and you joined for the month of June, you have access to that pattern until the 30th.
I'm just making sure if I'm working or not on the 29th.
It's at night.
I know, but that means I get home and I have to set everything up again.
Yeah.
So it'd be a quick, fast day for me. But
so it's going to be a fun class. We've got lots to cover. Those of you that have already ordered your surfaces from Sheila, they should be arriving pretty soon. She's been going steadily since the membership launched, so
At this time, no. I am not working on the 29th.
oh good.
At this time.
At this time.
Subject to change.
So all of these curved elements, you can freehand those in. And this is fairly distressed lettering by the time we're finished. So if, if there's little baubles here and there, I wouldn't worry too much. But we do want to make sure that...
Even though you have been busy, the communication from the paid group is awesome.
Good,
Excellent.
I'm glad. We're trying to make sure that everybody stays informed and that you have access to everything. I know we got off to a little rocky start trying to navigate some of YouTube's systems, and I really am grateful for your patience. But I think we've got it pretty much under control now.
How much prep work do you recommend we do before the class on the 29th?
Base coat your surface black. That's it.
That's it.
Minimal prep. You're going to do everything in this class.
Yeah, it's going to be like 3 hours.
Yeah, you're going to be at it for about 3 hours. So as long as your surface is base coated black, you should be ready to rock and roll.
And yes, I will be there.
Yep. And it is live. You will have access to that video after the fact. So if, as long as you're a member, you'll have access to all of the videos. And we'll have a new one going up this week for you. Got some fun stuff.
Should be up on Wednesday.
Yeah, should be up on Wednesday. So we've got a new video for you. There is a PDF that you was there for you to download because the subject of some of the videos that are coming up in the next little while have to do with the elements and principles of design, and we're going to cover quite a bit in each video. But I've created small projects for you. So there'll be you'll either get a PDF or you'll get a line drawing or you'll get something that will come to you that you'll be able to download so that you can join us. Most of the time it'll be like a short supply list and a line drawing, and then when the video goes up, you can do it whenever you want to. You are not obligated to do it by any means, but the information and the material will be available to you as well as the video. So I'm excited about it because I'm trying to throw in as much technique and some fun ideas and some play, and then learn some things at the same time. So
Some challenges.
and some challenges. I like the challenge. You guys were amazing, by the way.
I didn't see any of the photos.
Oh,
I saw one.
All kinds of them on the Facebook group. All kinds of them. Everybody tackling some of the challenges and learning to create your own shades and how to come up with the right values. So yeah, they were awesome. I know it's intimidating when you first, have to mix your own colors. Okay. See, my line drawing shifted.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, it did.
So it's crooked?
A little bit. Little bit. We'll go with it anyway. I'll fix it as I go. So you can see that my line drawing shifted. I knew that as soon as I did it. Oh my God.
Really?
Really?
Did you do that?
I did that. I got paint everywhere. This is the downside to having that palette that close.
No, once the videos are up there, they'll be available to all members.
Yep.
As long as you're a member, you'll be able to watch it. They'll stay up there for indefinitely. Are the videos available for longer than a month, or do they go away at the end of the month?
No, they don't go away.
They won't go away.
The only thing that goes away is the pattern.
Yeah. Pattern availability will disappear at the end of every month.
Yeah.
And a new one will go up.
And a new one goes up. Yeah, exactly. So as long as you're a member, you're going to get a free pattern every month, and you'll have a free class every month. So now I have to put my coffee cups on. I like this. Oh, this is a fun
Diane Hendricks, how do you join the membership series? That's easy. You go to the YouTube channel, and there is a blue join button right on the actual channel itself, and you click that and follow the prompts.
Yep.
It could take up to, it is a weekend.
Yeah, so sometimes you won't necessarily see it come through on your bank card until Monday, but
What is it, the Visa debit card?
I think it's the debit cards that it does that.
Yeah.
But credit cards and PayPal are also available. So I've got the teacups. I like this. I think this is fun. Now I have the pattern drawn on. I have the squares and the stripes and the polka dots. They're drawn on in this particular case. But I'm going to use the stencil for this because I've got a couple of really fun stencils for that part. So these are pretty straightforward. They're not too terribly difficult. I know this part is really mundane, watching somebody trace and transfer, but
Does that mean if I join a few months from now and buy the pattern at a later time, I can follow the video still?
yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. Yep.
Is the club in Canadian funds?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
It actually automatically adjusts to your location. So if you're in the UK, it'll adjust the price according
sterling.
to. Is it in sterling or?
I
Euro.
think I don't think it's. Oh, it could be euros. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I thought it was sterling, but that's.
But we've set it in originally in US dollars because we've done everything in US dollars.
Yeah. But it just converts it automatically to Canadian.
I believe it's $29.99.
$29.99 Canadian, $24.99 US. I'm not sure what the conversion is for European.
Can't wait to see the membership pattern for next month.
Oh, it's going to be fun.
It's a doozy.
I'm trying to
I
make.
think 18 pages was a lot.
Yeah. I got a little carried away with the last one. Jeez. I don't know. I have this thing that if somebody is going to pay for a membership, I wanted to make sure that you get your money's worth. And so that was the whole thing. I mean, those dollars are hard earned for people, and so it's, you got to make sure that there's some value in it. So when I did the first pattern, I was just a little over the top, but I really like that pattern, so I'm quite pleased with it. I think it looks pretty good. So for this striped one, I'm going to leave it as is, but the this polka dot one, I'm not going to put the circles on. I'm just going to trace the shape of the cup because I have a really fun stencil for this. So I'm just going to leave it blank. My friend Sheila made me the most gorgeous set of Christmas ornaments. Well, I'm going to call them Christmas ornaments because that's where my brain goes. But she made me some teacups. And they're gorgeous. And I can't wait to. I've been doodling and creating some stuff with that. So.
Can they see that? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just checking the stream to see if
Okay.
they could see the teacups being traced.
I'm trying to do this as quickly as possible. I know not everybody wants to sit and watch somebody trace and transfer teacups, but
Or letters.
or letters. But I wanted to
it's
show you how to do the background, and
It's part of the process.
it's part of the process. So, I mean, we're all sitting there doing this. These are the mundanities of decorative painting. We have to, base coat. We have to trace and transfer when all we really want to do is to get to the fun stuff. But, oops, I have to move my graphite.
With the membership, you can purchase. You could do this month. You can do. You can skip a couple months if you want.
Yeah.
And come back again. You'll still have access to all the previous videos,
Yep.
just not the patterns.
Yep. That's the only thing. We were trying to figure out how to make it fair because you couldn't have, somebody that joined in June, get their pattern as part of their membership. We couldn't leave that pattern up for someone that only comes in July.
Yeah.
So we had to put a time limit on the pattern. So the pattern is available for the month of June, is available to members until the 30th of June. The class is on the 29th. But in case, someone forgot or didn't have time or wasn't available for that class date, we had to leave it until the 30th of June. So you have until the 30th to download your pattern.
And then after that, on the 1st of July, the pattern goes up on the website.
Yep.
She'll
Yep.
do a social media post on when it goes up.
Yep.
And then it's available to everybody. What'd you do now?
I'm telling you, rocket scientist can't see it.
You can't see it?
Can't see it. Oh my gosh.
Do you want gray
I
graphite?
got some here. Oh my god. You talk about.
You're just batting 1,000 today.
I'm batting 1,000 this week. This whole week has just been. Ugh.
All right,
Mr.
Kat.
Pete. Okay, I'm going to do this as quickly as possible because this is ridiculous. And he's getting rid of the cat. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, gang. Lights are on. Nobody's home. I don't know why I thought the white would show up on that light color, but nope. Couldn't see it. So now I'm just going to quickly do this.
So I'm going to switch cameras here for a second.
Okay. Why?
To see your face.
Oh, see my face? Why? Ta-da!
Good. You're going to give.
Oh, I'm going to give one of those away.
You're going to give that to, I believe it's Jael Brewer.
Two?
Jael Brewer. Jael.
Oh,
Brewer.
Jael Brewer.
Yeah.
You won one of these surprise packs, my dear. So go to the website. On the front page of the website, down in the lower right-hand corner, there's a little speech bubble. Click on that, send us a message with your shipping information, and this little surprise pack will go out to you on Monday. If you need to send me a message for anything, I appreciate it if you do it through the website, through that little speech bubble, because that comes directly to me. A lot of the time, things on Messenger, on Facebook and whatnot, I may not see them for days on end. So if it's something important, you really need an answer to your question, or you have a concern, whatnot, please do it through the website. It's the easiest and the fastest way to get my attention, because those come right to me. Messenger, I won't necessarily see. So.
All right, we'll go back to the pad.
Okay.
And there you go. Whee.
See, I managed to get, I don't know what the hell I got all over me today. I'm just a hot mess today. I love Sandy's term, hot mess, so I've adopted it because it seems to be my state.
J.L. Brewer.
JL.
Yeah,
Okay.
J.L. Brewer.
JL Brewer.
There we go.
There you go, honey. Don't forget to message me with your shipping info.
And we'll get it out to you.
Now, I want to make sure I can see this.
Yeah. Don't worry, I'm working on the pop-ups for websites and stuff.
Yeah.
Getting those all sorted out. It's new software is a little finicky,
Yeah.
but we'll get there.
We got the cameras. This is the most important thing. We had to get those cameras and the sound working
Yeah.
because, but we got that working.
But I'm glad you guys are enjoying the higher fidelity image that you're watching. But with higher fidelity comes some restrictions.
Yeah, there was a little bit of trade-off on a couple of things, but
Yeah.
I think it was a good trade-off in some respects, or many respects.
Yeah, we do have finer control, and everything's in one piece of software now.
Yeah, we're not having to.
Yeah, we're not having to go to multiple computers. I can actually control the entire thing from one computer.
Yeah.
So,
So, yeah, things seem to be, I don't know. I mean, if you guys are happy, that's the only thing that matters, is that the video quality is there and the sound is a big one. That always helps.
yeah.
They can hear us.
Can you hear me?
You say I build a snowman, I'm gonna smack you.
If you ever want a good laugh, just type in Will Smith Frozen in YouTube. It's hysterical.
Yeah, it's very funny.
But you have to have a sick, twisted sense of humor like me.
Yeah.
Or if you want to...
Or like me, apparently, because I laughed till I cried, so.
Another good laugh, and we can't figure out why.
The bread.
The bread, yes.
The bread.
Look for falling bread.
Yeah, look for a video called Falling Bread. I have no idea why it's funny, but it is.
Yeah,
It's hilarious.
I think it's about 15 seconds long,
Yeah.
and the first 10 seconds is literally of it just standing on end.
Yeah.
And then it falls over, and then you start laughing for no reason.
Yeah, I have no idea why it's funny, but it's funny.
Go ahead, Renee, sing it.
No. He's not tired of living.
Okay, so that was J. Brewer. Make sure I get that there.
Okay, I think, yes.
You good now?
Oh, I missed a piece. Good grief.
Oh, God.
Honest to Pete.
Oh, look. You're painting my sign, says Deb.
Deb. I still have to do one with sunflowers for her.
You have to do one for sunflowers?
Yep, she wants sunflowers.
So needy.
I know.
Love you, Deb.
Okay, gang. I think, oh my God.
Are you okay?
No, apparently not. I'm telling you.
teacups for inspiration, or you just use your imagination?
I actually have a collection of teacups that I've had. My grandmother left them to me, and I absolutely love teacups. Okay, so we're going to start by painting a teacup.
Yeah, I can't see the lines through the camera.
I can, and as long as I can see them, we're golden.
Okay.
So I'm going because honestly, you know, of course, it helps if I know what I'm painting.
You have 130 people watching you.
Wow,
Yeah.
130 people with nothing
And
to do
only
on a
90
Saturday.
likes. I nearly spat that out of my coffee. I spat my coffee out. Wow. Listexia.
Listexia, yeah. So I'm going to start with, the thing about this particular design is it has a very minimal color palette, like very minimal color palette. Essentially it's red, black, and white. And then I've got a couple of other colors that are just there for the purpose of filling space or adding, you know, a variety of effects. And going to start with a little bit of asphaltum because I like doing this first because then once we're base coating things, it covers up a multitude of sins. So we're going to start with a float of asphaltum. And we're going to go around these teacups all the way around, just like so. And all this does is it pulls the design forward. So it makes it jump forward just by giving it a little dimension. And you can see that that teacup is already starting to pop off the surface. And we haven't even painted it yet. We're just putting in some color. Putting in a few shadows. So I like to go around everything like so. So you can see that this teacup pops off that surface right away. And you can also tell that I really don't, I'm not all that neat and tidy when it comes to floating things. I just want to get that color in and around. The other nice thing is if it happens to go up over top of the teacup, over top of the line drawing, that's okay. Because you're going to base coat over it and it's going to clean up very nicely. So, teacup.
Teacup. Teacup. Oh, wow. That chat is going a mile a minute.
Kathy Ryan, you must be having one of my kind of days. I have far more of those these days than you can possibly imagine. Some days I couldn't find my butt with both hands.
Looks like magic.
So, see what that little float around things right off the bat? Now you can see all these shapes.
Bread falling over, but with flashbacks. LOL.
So that little shadow just helps define your teacup, crisps it up, pops it forward, lifts it off the surface so that it doesn't look like a flat item on a flat surface.
That looks like a quarter edge angled faux squirrel.
It's a 1/2 inch.
Damn it. Oh, it is a 1/2 inch. I was going by what I saw on the screen.
No, this one's a 1/2 inch. So there we go. We've got our teacups lifted off that background. And how dark you get is entirely up to you. If you want a darker definition back there, by all means, go for it. There is no rule as to how dark or how light that needs to be. But I find it's just enough to define it. It doesn't bury everything in the background. So it's enough to give us that definition that we want. So now we have to start base coating our surface. I'm going to use first I'm going to use lamp black, then I'm going to go in with where's my down? There it is. So the base colors for this are really simple. They're lamp black or country red.
Miss Brewer says, I can't believe how much you get out of one float. I can never get that much from loading my brush once.
Joe Sonia Fast Dry Glaze.
More glaze, less paint.
Yeah. Essentially, the glaze acts almost like a lubricant, for lack of a better term, and it just lets the paint flow off the brush really nicely. And you'll find that even using it for base coating, the paint comes off that brush nice and smooth. And it gives you the ability to control the paint much better. So I use Joe Sonia's Fast Dry Glaze all the time. I use it instead of water. So I use it for floating, I use it for thinning, for base coating, for line work. Whenever I need to get paint to move smoothly, that's what I use it for. So instead of water, just touch into it, pick up your paint.
No, it's not. She's lying.
What's that?
I can tell your mom has had an impression on you, Renee. Your envelope addressing is neat and precise. I don't know if that's being sarcastic or not.
No, it's because
I use a ruler.
he uses a ruler.
If I were to freehand it.
I have a really funny story about rulers. When I was going to school, we did a lot of on-the-job training, and one of the first places that I went was a graphic arts department for a printing company. We printed the TV Guide and a few other publications, but the TV Guide was the most notable at the time. And the fellow that I worked with, his name was Peter, and he was a German fellow, has a strong German accent, and he was meticulous, and he was a very good boss, but I had a tendency to eyeball everything. And on a daily basis he would, oh good God, for Christ's sake, Tracy, use a ruler. So over the years I have become a huge proponent of the ruler, mostly because of his guidance. But I've never forgotten that. For Christ's sake, Tracy, use a ruler.
I wondered who addressed my packages.
Yep.
It looks like a child wrote it with a crayon, then ate the crayon. That was me.
But very straight.
But straight.
Yeah.
I know when to use a ruler.
If it was in cursive, it was me.
If it was in cursive, it was her, yeah. I've never been good at cursive. I know how to.
It's just faster if he prints it.
Yeah, it's a lot faster for me to print it. Where can I get the Josanya Fast Drying Glaze in Canada?
Country Bear.
Country Bear.
Country Bear Woodcrafts. I don't know if Stockade has it. The other one is Delta Arts and Drafting Supply. They carry it as well.
She likes your German accent.
She does. Who's that?
That was Brenda Owen. Oven. Oven. I don't care how neat the address is as long as it gets here. I agree. However, it can't get somewhere if somebody can't read it.
That's true.
So, I try to make it as legible as possible because my actual writing is atrocious.
So the other color that I'm working with is this Country Red. I love Country Red. I think it's Tuscan Red and Country Red are my two favorite reds. So I'm going to base coat this one with the Country Red. I know what you're thinking, but it has red, white squares. It will have. We're going to stencil on some white squares.
Tracy can do any accent. I made her do them all at the pub while in England. Oh, you even did Southern Belle?
Oh, yes.
Oh, wow. Southern Belle in England. That would have thrown people off.
We had way too much fun in England. Sandy and I discovered we travel really well together. We had a lot of fun. But it helps when you have very similar interests. So
I can do a lot of accents, too.
he does. It's hereditary, folks.
I can also do voices.
Yes. It's kind of creepy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use stencils to do the designs on these cups. The pattern shows you a variety of ways. I mean, it's just a matter of base coating in the shapes and whatnot. But I'm going to use the stencil just to speed things up a little bit in here. These are just fun.
Does the Josanya glaze make the paint more transparent?
Yes, the more you put in, the more transparent it'll become, but it actually doesn't affect the paint as much as you think it would. It actually improves its adhesion because you're not breaking it down. You're thinning it out, but you're not breaking it down. There's a difference between thinning and diluting, and most of the time when we're using water, we're diluting.
It gives a trust. And wriggling. Got him. Got him. You asked for a character, there's a character.
Yeah.
If you don't know who that is,
You need to watch Lord of the
you
Rings.
need to pick up a book.
Gollum from Lord of the Rings. Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis, yep. Man, that is a character actor and a half.
Yeah, he is. He's remarkable.
I liked him in the Avengers. He was really
He's
good
an
there.
odd character in the Avengers.
Oh yeah, he's a arms dealer.
Yeah. There we are.
Can also do Stuart Gilligan Griffin.
Yep. Oh my god. please.
And I can also do Peter.
Peter. Oh my God, Peter.
You can do Lois. That's so wrong.
Oh, I need a gun. So I'm switching to a rigger to do these finer, the smaller areas, because I'm having a hard time seeing some of my lines here.
I'm trying to remember the character's name.
There we go.
It's a much older audience, so they'll probably know who I'm talking about.
A much older audience?
Well, I grew up with it, but it was more 70s, 80s kids
Okay.
that grew up with it. It's more popular in the 70s and 80s.
Okay.
I don't know anybody who knows Snagglepuss.
Snagglepuss. Anybody my age knows who Snagglepuss
See?
is. That's not much older. Jeez.
Exit stage left. I used to be able to do Foghorn Leghorn.
Yeah, used to.
Used to. And then I hit puberty. And then Foghorn Leghorn I could never do again.
There we go.
Tracy, does Renee keep you entertained?
Entertained and stressed out beyond belief.
Yogi and Boo Boo?
Yogi Boo Boo. Hey, Boo Boo.
Hey, Boo Boo!
Oh, Yogi.
Okay, see, I'm almost there. Goodness gracious. That's what everybody wanted to do today, watch somebody base coat something. There we are. Good grief. Oh my gosh, now the handle is getting bigger.
The handle's getting bigger?
The handle's getting bigger. Everybody out there knows exactly what I'm talking about. The more you try to paint it, the bigger it gets. Yeah.
Who you calling older?
Yeah, exactly. Smack him one. Sort him out.
Q36 explosive space modulator.
Good old Marvin the Martian. There's never a dull moment in that house.
No.
No. There's never a dull moment.
Karen has been here for dinner.
Karen. That was Karen, alright. I'm just reading, I'm not
I
looking at
knew
the
it was
names.
Karen.
Yeah.
What are you calling older?
Now you're painting like me.
There. I feel like a truck driver. I'm constantly turning this thing.
Love Foghorn Leghorn. Yeah, I miss him.
So now I have to go in there with the whites. I need to get some white in here. I'm using warm white for this. The base of this center teacup. I just try to maintain that anything that's straight, try to keep it straight.
Mr. Peabody.
Mr. Peabody.
Mr. Peabody. Oh man.
What was the kid's name?
I can't remember. Oh, Mr. Peabody, yes, the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the glasses and Rocky and Bullwinkle, you'd usually follow it.
Yeah.
Or before it. Yeah. No, never been able to do Mr. Peabody. Sherman. Yes.
Sherman. Yep.
Yes, it was Sherman. I had 2 different people ring my doorbell since I've been watching this video. How rude. I need a do not disturb sign.
So do we. I was interrupted this morning by the Amazon guy. Amazon delivery.
My brother had a friend who used to be able to do Woody the Woodpecker all the time.
Oh my gosh.
I can't do that laugh anymore.
I never could do it.
Dog was smarter than the kid. Yeah. Yeah, he was.
Mr. Peabody.
Mr. Peabody, yeah.
Now, when I'm base coating something like this, and there is a space, something that has to separate it, instead of painting it solid, I like to leave that space. So I frequently will leave a very fine line between elements. And in this case, the base of this teacup. So, okay, I think we're all set. So I'm going to dry this real quick. This is going to look a little rough for a bit until I get the all of the elements in. So just dry this paint and we're going to start playing.
Renee, are you on Messenger? No!
On what?
Messenger.
No. He doesn't do much on social media.
I am not on Messenger. What brush and size brush have you been using this whole time while base coating?
I've been using, for the larger areas, I was using a number 6 round. And for the smaller areas, I've been using a number 2 rigger. Helps me keep all those lines straight, and especially these smaller spaces in here, so.
Just took a homemade pound cake out of the oven for Father's Day.
Ooh, yummy. So I have a stencil somewhere.
I gave it to you.
I know you did. Hello. Shush. See, but both hands. Couldn't find it. Oh, terrible.
I think I have an addiction to your website. I love your bee patterns and cannot wait to get the other goodies that are in the mail. Thank you for being so creative and sharing.
So you're very welcome. Thank you for supporting the website. The black and white one in here in the middle in this pattern, I wanted to use this random polka dot stencil because I'm feeling lazy today. So I'm going to use my 1/4 inch stencil brush, and I'm going to secure this because, as we've seen today, I have a tendency, I've dragged my sweater through my asphaltum. I want to get, I'm a hot mess today.
Are you using your Cricut to make new stencils? No, she does not.
No, my stencils get designed on the computer and then they go off to my manufacturer. My Cricut, sometimes I will test a stencil to make sure that it functions well. But no, for the most part, all my stencils are laser cut.
Keep a list of items you use so that I can order. My only hope is to paint a little like you.
Aw.
That's Norma Luther. Practice, 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 practice. All sorts of practice.
So I'm just using a little bit of warm white. I'm trying not to use too much paint. And I'm doing this in layers because I don't want to have 10 tons of paint on there because then it bleeds. So I'm just going to let that dry for a second. I'm trying not to get too close to that stencil with this heat gun because it'll ruin the stencil if I get too close. So I'm just stenciling some polka dots onto this teacup. And you'll notice that at the edges down here, I'm not going right to the edge because I'm going to shade that side anyway, so I don't really have to worry about it. But et voila, random polka dots on teacup number 1. Now
That's why my stencil bled on me last week. Duh.
too much paint.
Too much paint.
Can you hand me a 1-inch check stencil, please? It's going to be at the very back. No, other side. Yeah, 1-inch check. That's the one. Perfect. Now I did it as a diamond pattern on here, but I wanted to try something with the stencil. So this is the check stencil. Yeah, baby, this is gonna work.
Is it?
Yep.
For sure?
No. I think this one's too big.
You want a half inch?
A half inch. Give me a half inch.
You should have a half inch in
I
front of you.
don't have a half inch in front of me.
Is that quarter?
That's 1/4 inch. These are all 1/4 inch. I need a half inch.
Okay.
I'm a bossy bit of goods today. So he's going to open it for me. Oh, and we've got new giveaways this week. In the
A whole bunch.
in the minis. So this is the new one that we're sending out this week.
Does that show up?
Is the
You can't make out what it is.
there
There it is.
fleur de lis?
Put it on the red.
There, put it on the red. So yeah, so this is the we always send out a little freebie with your orders when we're shipping them. So this month, for the month of July, it's the fleur de lis. So we have a nice little fleur de lis stencil going out. Oh yeah, baby, this is much better.
What did I miss? I really want to paint this today. How do you... What the hell happened?
I don't know.
Ah, there we go.
So
How do you store your stencils?
the ones I use all the time are usually sitting right in front of me. I have mine in bins right now. So all my smaller ones in bins. My really big ones are all hanging on S-hooks and clamps. They hang up on the racking in the storeroom.
Love getting those little stencils. Very nice touch. Found 2 bottles of warm white and asphaltum in my stash.
Woohoo! So I'm just stenciling. I switched to the half inch check for this. I thought the 1 inch would do it, but the half inch actually does a nicer job. So I'm just stenciling these white checks onto that red cup. Again, I'm not worrying too much about the edges. You could mask this cup off if you wanted to, but honestly not really necessary. So there goes my whites. And again, I'm going to let each layer dry and then I'll recoat.
Yes, Karen puts her stencils in a binder.
Yep. So I've stored some of mine that way too, but I've kind of gone beyond the point where I can do that.
She got too many stencils.
I have too many stencils. I store mine in those 12 by 12 scrapbook paper bins that you can get at Michael's. They're usually $5 or $6 for those bins, and I lay them flat. I prefer to have them laying flat. I just find if they're stored...
And she has shape makers hanging, other types of stencils hanging.
Yeah.
It's usually the bigger stencils that hang.
My shape makers, that's this set here. These are, I use for my design process when I'm designing things. Anytime that I have to have circles like beads or pearls or the centers of some flowers and things where it needs to be nice and crisp and round, I use my circle makers. Same with squares, checks, things like that. They should be very square, rectangles, diamonds. These are just handy tools when you're designing something or even when you're tracing line drawings. That's why I have them. I really like those.
I gotta see your battery pack.
Is my... Am I running out of juice?
Oh no, you're good.
I'm good. Okay.
I just want to make sure that you're not dying halfway through here.
So, as I said, I'm letting each one of these dry, and then I'm coming back in with another coat of the white, the warm white. over top because I want nice opaque white checks on here. There we go. And I'm going to have a peek. Ooh, I messed up. That's okay. I'll fix it. So there we go. I think that should do it. Right there. So now I have that nice white check on. I went with the 1/2 inch. You could go with the 1 inch, I think. I don't know. I thought that this, the 1/2 inch actually looked really nice. So I went with the 1/2 inch for that. And then I think I'm going to put another coat of white on this up here. And we're going to have a little bit of fun. These are not a difficult project to paint. There's a bit of prep work, obviously. But I really like how this kind of comes together very quickly once you have all of your base coating in and all of that stenciling done. Now, the edges of these cups are done with a gold paint pen because I like that little bit of bling in there. So I just took my gold paint pen and I drew in that little gold border at the top edge of my teacups, or coffee cups in this case. Comme ça. Now, if you're a little concerned about how well these are going to go on, don't be shy. Grab a ruler. The smaller one there I wasn't too worried about. This one's a little wider, so I'm going to use my ruler to make sure it stays nice and straight. There we go. So there's my gold border at the top of my teacup, and I'm going to do the same thing for this down here. The top of that saucer gets that gold border as well. I just want them to be nice and clean. I didn't want them to be too wonky.
Tracy and Sandy have led me to triple my stencil collection.
Stencils are, especially if you get stencils that are basic, nothing too elaborate or too trendy, you can use the same stencils for years on end if you look after them. And they will always be, they don't go out of style if you're looking at basic elements. I like basic design elements, circles, squares. Right now I'm kind of obsessed with the bumblebees and the anything with a wreath on it. Don't ask me why.
I have used some of her floral stencils to do like scar tissue on one of the demons I did on a motorcycle. I've used it for I've used your vines and tendrils stencil to do barbed wire.
Yep.
So you can use them for all sorts of good, cool things.
So there is the edges of my teacups. So I've got the tops of the saucers done and the bottoms of the lips on the cups. So from here, all we're going to be doing is some of the detail work, and that is mostly shading and highlighting. So we're going to start with this one up here. One of my favorite things to do with this type is I like doing back-to-back floats on this. I'm using a little of, who knew, asphaltum.
Ta-da!
So I'm putting a float down one side of that white with the asphaltum. I'm going to pick up a little bit of soft black for the red. I'm going to shade that red with a little soft black. I'm going to do the same thing, coming down that side. Nice
So-
float.
Is that Carolyn Edwards? So glad that painters are using stamps and stencils more and more.
They're just another design tool. They're fabulous. You can customize things any way you want to. You can make things more interesting. I can't stand just a plain flat background. I like things to be more interesting. And I know stamps can do that for you. And you can do more than just that with stamps. I wanted to show you guys something really cool because this is going to be on a future video. In fact, you're going to see this week. This is for the members are going to see this week, I should say. This is a really cool design element. I think you're going to have some fun with this. Isn't that the neatest thing? Now, I did this with a pen. This is just sketched onto a piece of copy paper. And then I created some fun techniques using some doodles, some sketches that I've done. But I have a great project for you guys coming up, and I'll show you how to do this because this is super easy and you're going to love it. But you can do this with stamps too. So just keep in mind, all my membership people, all those of you, you've got a great video coming up on Wednesday. You're going to love this. It's a lot of fun. Ooh. And it'll keep you busy.
I love Egypt stuff. Would make a fantastic iridescent beetle.
It would.
I'm making some scarab paintings actually, says Sheila.
I love anything like that. I just think that that's so cool. So I'm just putting a float of that soft black right underneath the rim of my teacup. And I'm going to do the same thing along the bottom. Comme ça. And then teacup number 1 is complete. So now I'm going to take some asphaltum. Coming down to teacup number 2, or coffee cup. I keep saying teacup, it's coffee cup. Hello. So I've got a shadow on that side. And I'm going to do the same thing on this side.
How did you burn the edges?
I didn't.
She didn't.
Don't worry, you're going to know how to do it. We're going to show you step by step from that video this week. So fun to do. And then that asphaltum underneath the lip, right underneath that gold border at the lip of the cup. And then I'm going to take that asphaltum, remember that white base, right along the bottom of this cup above the saucer, right over top of that white. Just with that asphaltum. And then we're come down to this little fella down here. And as I said, this one works up very quickly once you have all of this other stuff done. I'm using asphaltum. I'm going to put a shadow down the left side of this teacup. And across the bottom.
Ooh, there's a good question.
What's that?
If you don't have soft black, can you do something with lamp black to get the same effect?
Yes, you can. It won't be exactly the same, but you can take a little asphaltum and mix it with your black to get a dark, rich. It'll give you a rich, warm black. The soft black has got a red undertone. You can always try a little country red mixed into your black too, but personally I prefer the asphaltum. I find that it's a little more subtle and it works just as well. I do like the depth that you get with soft black. It is a very rich tone. But you can also mix a little bit of purple with some black.
The video Tracy is talking about this week on Wednesday, is that for the members?
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is for the membership.
There's some fun stuff coming your way, you guys.
Never really used stencils or stamps until recently. Had them, never used them. That is called a stash.
Yep, it's called a stash. We have them. This looks like fun, gotta have it. This looks like fun, gotta have it. So.
Sandy says she only has 6 left and more on order, but they take forever to ship to me.
Yeah.
Yes. Miss Brewer came up with a good one.
Oh, did she?
Yeah. We should call it the Fellowship of Brushes.
Yes, I agree. I think we're
Uh,
all a tad obsessed with brushes. It's just the nature of the creature, I'm afraid. It gives us the brushes. brushes. So I want to put, oh, good Lord. I'm going to put a little shadow on the red handles. I'm going to use a little bit, I just wanted to demonstrate this, a little bit of that lamp black. I'll pull this in so you can see what I'm doing. I've got a little bit of lamp black on my brush, and I'm going to pull in just a touch of red into it, and it makes a great shading color for reds, is to use a small quantity of lamp black.
I'm now starting to call my fugly brush my brushes.
That's all black mix, and you can see it works just fine for shading red. So if you don't have soft black, just take a little bit of lamp black, pick up a touch of country red, just a touch, and blend it well on your palette, and there is your shading color for your reds. And it works just beautifully.
The Fellowship of the Brushes. That's pretty good. I
It
like
is.
that. I am a bit of a nerd.
I'm not touching that.
A bit.
So there, you can see that I've just using that brush mix of the red and the black gives me a nice strong shadow, but it's not overpowering.
I'm not sure whether that was Renee or the voices in my head that are obsessed with brushes. Aren't we all, Renee?
Just a little bit.
I like my video games.
Yep.
I do like
He's a
Done.
movie freak.
a bit of a movie freak. I like some aspects of Dungeons and Dragons. I've never played a game of Dungeons and Dragons, but I like some of the. I guess you could say some of the stories, and
Yeah.
I like
Okay.
mythical creatures and stuff like that.
So I'm going to use my point blender for this. We're going to put a highlight on our teacups. And I like just keeping it as simple as possible. So I'm picking up a little bit of warm white.
I was addicted to World of Warcraft for years. You and me both. I haven't touched World of Warcraft in a long time.
So I'm using my point blender, and I'm going to put just a curved highlight on this little fat teacup here. I like the shape of this one. I just think he's fun.
What size is that?
This one is the medium point blender. I think Deb has these on her website too.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to dry brush a little highlight on this side, straight up and down.
You sound like my son.
And I'm going to do the same thing on this one. And it's a simple dry brush. I'm not doing anything over the top. And I'm not worried about getting them perfect either. And I'm going to do the same thing to the center area on the saucer. Just a little dry brush like so. Don't overthink it. Just put it in.
Is that
And then-
glazing medium in the jar? Yes.
Yay! Now comes my pen. I like my pen.
Ah, the pen is out.
The pen is out. So on the white, I like to go around and just put this little sketchy line. Like so. Neatness doesn't count. Perfection is to be avoided at all costs. Doesn't matter if it goes on the white and onto the red. It doesn't matter. It's just not a big deal. So you can just put that little sketchy line in. Like so. Keep it loose. Don't putz with it. I like doing this on these polka dots. just put this little sketchy line on the white.
Might have to pick it up and show them the
Yeah,
sketchy line.
It's a super sketchy, and it's really light. That's what I love about these pens, is how fine they are. So I just want to put a little sketchy line on those white polka dots. Neatness doesn't count. And we're going to do the same thing on these squares. I
Ooh.
love this part.
Well, Linda Safranco's got a good question. If
What's
someone
that?
wanted to do this in blues,
Ooh.
what would you suggest? They have asked me if I would do one in blues and yellows.
Ooh, blue and yellow would be pretty. I'd be very careful with the yellow. So whatever yellow you choose, use something really pale. You don't want it to be over the top. So nice and pale. And as for the blues, look for something in the same value or the same hue as this red. So I'm thinking true blue. And then that way you could shade this, like you could antique it with like Prussian blue, something like that would work really well. And then for these dark teacups, I would go with the Prussian blue on those darker where the black is. I would use a really dark blue, so something like a Prussian blue, and then use the lighter blues where the reds are. Keep the white to either a white or a pale yellow, very pale. And then all of those dark colors, just trade them out for the darker values of the blue. But yeah, I would try true blue for your base instead of the country red.
Oh, what else we got here? Oh, I think Carolyn Edwards bumped into you at a convention.
Oh yeah?
She said someone at a painting convention I attended was wearing a button that said, "Why yes, I do need another brush."
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
could relate with that to that statement.
Oh, couldn't we all?
That was probably her.
It could have been. I wore one working in the brush guy's booth one time.
And did it say, "Why yes, I do need another brush"?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay,
What a
so that
silly
was
question.
probably her.
What a silly question. Of course I need another brush. So I just put that like sketchy line around the design elements. So if it's in the polka dots, if it's in the, in those checks, I like this sort of sketchy, let's face it, I like things sketchy. So,
That's
yeah.
not ominous.
Ominous, not at all. So I'm just putting, a few sketchy lines here and there. It just adds a little dimension and it softens this design element quite a bit. And I just realized I didn't highlight my handles, so I got to put a little dry brush on my handles, like so. And I only have one more thing to do for these teacups, but I'm going to leave it until we are finished with this lettering over here.
Sue Braun says, "My oldest son has made nerdy work.
Yeah.
He now works for Microsoft in the Halo division." Wow.
Wow. So we're going to start shading our lettering. And I'm using the soft black just like I used for this detailing. So I'm going to shade inside my letters on the background. It's just a float. Neatness doesn't really count for this. I don't worry too much about the accuracy. So if it goes over top of the line work, that's okay. Because we've still got quite a bit to do here.
Okay, so the white pens are a 1 millimeter
Yeah, the white pens are 1 millimeter.
and the black pens are 0.38.
Yeah.
I don't know if the 1 millimeter means it's classified as broad.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, the white one is broad.
Yeah. And quite nice. I like the look of it. So there is that shading. Again, neatness doesn't really count. We're not looking for, perfection in here, but that's going to lift that lettering off the surface. And it helps make it more attention getting, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
You can never have too many brushes.
No, you cannot. You cannot, as my storeroom can attest.
I cannot find the white in a fine line.
They don't make one in a fine line. They only make the 1 millimeter.
think
I
it
would
has something
love
to
it
do
if
with the
they
ink.
did.
It probably has to do with the ink they use.
I think so, because this paint is or the ink that's in it is very opaque. And so it's a little bit thicker, so I think it needs that.
Needs a wider outlet.
Yeah. So I'm just putting a shadow on all of my lettering, like so. And I know it looks kind of messy when you're doing it this way. It looks messy until we paint the lettering, but it does help make the lettering pop up and out so that you have a really nice end result.
How is everything looking here? Okay.
And that little shadow makes all the difference. I want this lettering to, it doesn't have to be perfect. It's going to look distressed, which is fine. But there's a difference between distressed and badly painted.
So Brian Insole just subscribed. Nice. Welcome, Brian. If you're watching, welcome.
So there we go. All right, so I've got my shading in place. Again, neatness doesn't really count for this because it's going to be, all of those little flaws are going to be hidden anyhow. So I'm going to clear off my palette and we'll get some fresh paint.
What varnish do you use?
I use Decoart's matte spray to seal everything because I use ink. And then once I'm done with the matte spray, I usually use Decoart's either soft touch varnish or the ultra matte. I like the ultra matte finish. But everything gets sprayed first. That's just how I do things.
I'm just looking at her now studio converted to
TV studio. So, for those of you who haven't watched me do this before, and I know some of you are probably tired of seeing it, but
how did I know? Lettering.
lettering. I'm using, in this one, I'm using a 0 rigger. You can use a number 2. I just happened to grab a 0, but the 0 will work just fine. And I use that Joe Sonia's to thin out my paint. I want it quite thin, very inky for this.
Inky?
I'm also not looking for fully opaque. The opacity of it doesn't really matter. So I'm going to move that palette. So I'm going to start on this one. Now that rigger, when I tap on it, it forms a square edge. And so I can get a nice chisel edge and I press down till the brush opens up and fills the space. And then I can bring it back up onto the chisel edge. And so it makes it very easy to paint lettering.
Okay. I believe we're at 132 members now.
Wow.
Right on. 131. There it is. 131.
So again, I press down, open it up till the brush fills the space, and then release the brush so that it comes back up onto the chisel edge.
Can you use a brush on varnish on top?
Absolutely. As I said, because I'm using ink in a lot of my designs, I spray them with a little matte spray first, just to seal it. Because you never know. Some brush on varnishes don't bother the ink and others will smear it. So it all depends. But I prefer to use just a little matte spray. It sets everything so I don't have to worry about varnishes behaving badly. So there we go. Now you can see, although it looks fully opaque, this paint is not completely opaque, and that's okay. Not a problem. But when it's thin like that, it settles and levels very nicely, and so you get a nice finish to your lettering. And remember what I said about those shadows, that, you know, all those little baubles and imperfections would disappear when you paint your lettering. They do. The biggest trick to this is just taking your time. Relax and take your time. It's always been funny to me that people panic about doing lettering, especially when you consider that we all are taught to print and to write, but yet we worry so much about painting and lettering when it's just a space, just like everything else, like the teacup, like the handles, the coffee cups.
Treat it as a space.
Just treat it as a space, as opposed to treating it like some element, some mystical element. It's really not. And there is a level of intimidation when it comes to lettering, because people figure they have to get it absolutely perfect the first time. You don't. Just treat it like a space, like you treat every other space on your surface. And if it takes 2 coats to get it right, then use 2 coats to get it right. It's not a big deal. The most important part is that it is straight and level. All the other stuff is just paint. So there I have coffee painted in. Now on this lettering, I'm going to dry this real quick because there's a little, what I call a movement line. I know there's probably a technical name for it. I don't know what it is, nor do I care, but I call it a movement line because to me that's what it implies when you see it around something.
Okay.
It's like seeing it around a shape. It implies
They
movement.
use them in comic books
Yeah.
and stuff like that, yeah.
So I'm just going to put a fine line, little detail on my lettering.
Because coffee makes you jittery.
It does me.
Makes you vibrate. And not in a good way.
So I'm just using that little fine line. It gives this lettering a little bit of dimension, and it kind of implies a little bit of movement at the same time.
And don't forget, if you guys do go to the Brush Guys, use Tracy M as a discount code.
Yeah.
Because I see a lot of you talking about the Brush Guys.
Yep.
Use Tracy M.
Capital T, Racy, capital M.
Tracy.
If you use that code, it gives you an extra discount. And the Brush Guys are already heavily discounted.
Yeah.
So,
Remember not to drink coffee Friday morning when I'm on Decor Facebook page painting on glass. That's Sandy.
oh, too much coffee.
Yeah.
Sandy was painting on glass. I was painting on plastic.
Me and Deb run on
Coffee and bad choices.
coffee and a general disdain for the human population. Cheers, Deb.
So this lettering is, it's not too terribly difficult to paint. You just have to take your time.
My chair's creaking.
It is.
Never tire of watching you do lettering.
I enjoy doing lettering. To me, this is fun. And
I
it's
think-
so much simpler when you have the right brush to do it with.
Try finding an old school signer.
What do you mean? Oh, an old school sign painter.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're rare as hen's teeth.
Yeah. They're a lot of them moved to the automotive industry.
Yeah.
Just because that signing anything nowadays is
Yeah.
you just get it printed or made out of sheet metal and neon
Or
lights.
vinyl, yeah.
Or vinyl. And hand painting a sign with, barbershop lettering or something like that by hand.
Yep.
It's not sought after and it's expensive.
Yep. And it's a lost art.
Yeah. But if you get a chance to see a signer,
Yeah, true sign painter. They're impressive to watch.
yeah.
I have a friend of mine from the UK that he's a master calligrapher,
Oh, wow.
and his work is extraordinary. He works for a couple of Japanese companies. His work is beautiful. I only get to see him twice a year. I see him in Germany. Creative Asian and in Germany. So this lettering again, just relax, use the right brush, grab yourself a nice number 2 or a 0 rigger, whichever one you are most comfortable with, that being the most important thing. I tend to gravitate towards a 0 lately. I'm really quite enamored with the number 0 right now, but it's also very, very fine, and it's not quite as forgiving as the number 2 is. It also doesn't quite fill the space as well as number 2 does, but I like the way it moves.
Your chair creaking makes me think of an old radio show called The Creaking Door. Now you know how old I am.
Those used to be awesome. The old radio dramas.
Love watching the TV car shows that have the guys do hand painting on cars.
Oh yeah.
Those are old signers.
Those are old signers, yeah.
Or
Sign painters.
sign painters.
Detailers.
Watching them do pinstriping is amazing.
I have.
You have a set of pinstripers.
I do have a set of pinstripers.
Dagger brushes.
Oh no. They are long daggers.
Oh, you have long daggers?
Yes.
I don't know how to use a long dagger.
Yeah, they're the real pinstriping brushes where
Yeah.
the handle is 1.5 inches long and the bristle is longer than the handle.
Yeah. I had a set of dagger brushes.
I have several.
Actually, I
sets.
think you got me those dagger brushes.
Yes, I did.
And you got them from
Dynasty.
Dynasty, right?
So there is I actually fixed my little bauble, and I did it by just, it's actually a cheat, sort of. I shortened the top of the letter and elongated the bottom of the letter so that they were all level now. So now my lettering is not going downhill like it was a little bit ago. So this is fun lettering. Again, I'm not too worried about the perfection of it. I don't think for this it's all that important, because it is going to be like old vintage signage by the time we're done.
There should be another phrase underneath that.
There is.
Yeah, friends don't let friends drink decaf.
Good son would go make his mother a cup.
You have one right there.
This is tea.
I thought you went out and made coffee. Would you like a coffee, mother?
I would love a decaf.
Full strength espresso it is. I will make you a decaf.
Thank you. He's such an ass.
Yeah, from time to time. I think we got our system.
So what do you think, guys? Cameras are working well, sound is good, everything is copacetic.
And you got, you
the
And
chat.
I can see the chat. That's a nice turn. Well,
Take a look at it.
love watching the TV car shows. You can get the old radio dramas on audiobooks sometimes. That's a cool. That is very cool. So I'm almost done. I'm really liking the coffee with friends. I think that's looking pretty good. I want to just stroke in some of this lettering. This last little bit. I'm keeping it fairly loose. I'm not. Renee's gone to make his mother a cup of coffee. So I'll just finish this up really quick. So this finished piece has already been claimed. Miss Deb told me she required it. So Miss Deb will get this one. So Miss Sandy just added a ton of new stamps to her website yesterday. I saw her post of it this morning. Some of the ones that she's got will be up on mine shortly too. The little flower in particular, but Sandy added not the bumblebees. What's the word? The bugs, the butterflies, the cicada, they're the ideology stamps from Stampenda or from Stampers Anonymous. Oh my gosh, my brain's not functioning today. So if you're looking for those, Sandy's got them up on her website. I've added we got more brayers in, and we've got the white opaque pens in. And the shopping bags, we've got that coming up in the next little bit too. We're going to be doing the shopping bags. So those will be fun. And what else? Oh, and I've got 3 or 4 new patterns that are going to be going up in the next little bit too. So we have lots to keep me busy. So I'm just going to quickly finish this. I don't have too much more to do. And then we can get on to doing some stenciling and the border on this piece. I love this piece. I think it's the colors that do it for me. I like that dark red and the combination of the blacks and the white and all of this earthy brown tones over here. I really like this piece. I've done this as a set of ornaments too. I think that pattern is on the website as well. We turned this theme into a series of ornaments. And that's fun. I like taking things and sort of moving them around and seeing what else I can create using the same ideas. So we do have that. There we go. So I've got my lettering done. And I'm going to take a little of that warm white. I need to put those little lines in. This is what makes this lettering a little more interesting. Just keeps things from looking too blasé. There we go. And now I've got a little set of arrows and whatnot over here that I want to put in. And it is a straight line, so I want to keep it as straight as I possibly can, but I want to stop short of that. Here we go. Oh, look at you. Thank you.
Kathy.
He made me coffee. Oh my God.
And it's in a Yeti.
And it's in my Yeti cup.
Yeah, 2 Yetis. How are you the only person in this house that has 2 Yeti cups? And I worked for Yeti.
I don't know.
Well, I didn't work for Yeti. I worked for a distributor of Yeti.
I like my Yeti cup.
Oh wait, no, I have 2 Yetis.
Yeah, you do.
I have 2 red ones.
So there we go. I'm going to just put some little hash marks through. Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun,
You
dun,
ever
dun,
get
dun.
painter's block?
All the time. All the time. I call it losing my mojo because I just, and it happened to me last week. I could not come up with a cohesive design to save my soul. So some days I'm hooped.
Is this pattern on your website now?
Yes, it is. And
What brand is your heat tool in?
oh, this thing is just the, I know, I sound like a broken record. This thing is the cat's meow. I love this thing. This is a Ranger heated craft tool. You can get them at a variety of locations, but I'm going to tell you to go to Sandy McTeer's website for these. They're fantastic and they're worth every penny. Love it. So I have one more stencil. It's okay. Yep. I have one more stencil I'm going to use. Now, the stencil that I used in the original piece isn't currently available. I'm actually having them made into a 6x6. I'm also having this one made into a 6x6 because I really like this. This one is called a corner motif stencil, and it's just got this really pretty little corner element. And I really wanted to use something pretty, and something sort of vintage in feel. So this one is going to be about 1/2 inch from the top and about 1/2 inch from this line here. And I'm going to secure this with a little bit of tape. Comme ça. Just so it doesn't move around too much. And then we're going to stencil that using warm white. I'm going to get a slightly larger stencil brush this time around. And I'm using warm white. To put this design element in. And I'm going to let it dry. Comme ça. I don't want to get it too close to that stencil. I don't want it to buckle or melt it. So, and then I'm going to repeat that. I want to put a second coat on. So, because I wanted this design element to be a bit more opaque. So there we go. So I've got that in there. And I'm going to take that same element and I'm going to bring it down to this bottom corner. Same rule applies, 1/2 inch from the edge and about 1/2 inch from the bottom. So I want it to have about the same amount of space. So I'm going to tape that into place again. And I'm going to stencil. Circular fashion, change directions frequently so that you get a nice even distribution of color. And we're going to let that dry. Don't you move.
Why do you prefer the flat stencil brush than the rounded?
No real reason. There's dome stencil brushes. I actually really prefer the flat ones. It depends on the surface. More on a flat surface, I'm going to use a flat stencil brush. On a textured surface, I'm going to use one of my texture stencil brushes or a dome. Because of the nature of the way they're designed, they're going to fit down into that texture. So, but for general stenciling work, I prefer just a traditional stencil brush. So there we go. I've got my other corner element in. And now I want to put a line in. So I'm going to grab my little ruler. And I want to put a line along the bottom, but I don't want it to be perfect. But I do want a bit of a guideline. So I'm going to grab my chalk pencil. Just like so. I want to put one there. And I want to do the same thing at the top one. I just want them to be straight. Comme ça. Like so. That one's not straight. Well, it's straight, but it's going uphill. Don't want that. So I'm going to, that's better. There. And again, this line is going to stop about 1/2 inch from the edge and 1/2 inch from the edge. So I'm going to take my rigger.
No, I'm not going to do that.
And I'm thinning out a little bit of that warm white. I want it to come off the brush really nice and smooth. So I'm using a little of my Joe Sonia's Fast Dry Glaze. And I'm going to paint a line. And I'm going to position my rigger right on that line and pull right along that line. And I'm going to stop short of that. So that's one. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Press there. Oops.
Where do you buy the black eraser in Canada?
Michael's. Michaels.ca has them. Michael's in the art supply section of the Michael's store.
Bah!
I whoopsied again. Telling you.
Well, you have 109 people currently viewing.
Oh, good. They didn't all leave.
Oh, one just left. And you have 109 likes.
Nice.
Everybody likes the video.
Everybody liked the video. That's nice. There we go. Oh, it's all messed up.
Oh, there's 2 people that just joined us. You got to hit the like button. There you go. How do we have more likes than viewers?
Because not everybody stayed.
112. Nice.
There. Okay, so I've got a white border up top, white border on the bottom. I'm going to dry this real quick, and then we have to antique this
Now I'm
to make these letters look old.
Oh, Stockade also has the Factus black erasers.
Oh, do they? Excellent. That's good to know.
You can also go on Amazon. I see 115. I see
So
100.
I'm going to grab my fugly brush. Ta-da!
The pretty fugly brush.
It's pretty fugly. And I'm going to thin out a little bit of asphaltum for this. And we're going to age this side with all that lettering. This side's already been well antiqued. And I'm going to pick up a little of that fast dry glaze.
All right, let's look at our list of likes here.
So I'm thinning out some asphaltum, and I mean really thinning it out. I want a nice watery mix like that. And we're going to do this. I wanted to age that, all that lettering and warm things up. I don't want this to be too pretty, too perfect, or too white. So I'm putting a layer of that thinned asphaltum over top of everything. Comme ça. And I'm doing it vertically because I kind of like the lines or the stria that it creates. And then you don't get that perfect uniform coverage. I kind of like that it's a little darker in spots, lighter in others.
Did Bob get snubbed?
Nope, Bob is still here. He's just hiding. There we go.
I can't see Bob.
Poor Bob.
Bob's here. He's been here the whole time.
I'm looking at the battery on my mic and it's going down and down. So
Well, if need be, mine's been plugged in the whole time. So
I'm going to dry this real quick. We have one last thing to do, and that is to add a little bit of spatter to this, because you know I'm going to spatter it.
there's a buzzing noise.
That could be.
plugged in?
It was my microphone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was just not quite making a connection.
There we go. So, the last thing we have to do is a little bit of spatter. I'm going to use a little bit of warm white on my fugly brush. And I'm going to spatter it lightly. I don't want 10 tons of it on there. But I want to... I like how this sort of brightens things a little bit. And it's subtle. It's not in your face. So in the last couple of hours, we went from a blank canvas to this fun piece. I'm going to take a little bit of lamp black, and that'll be our final spatter, because I like that.
Deb, you are a lucky lady. That's a beautiful piece.
So a little bit of lamp black on my brush. Oops, that's more than
Bob's on a bathroom break.
She went for a tinkle break. So a little bit of that lamp black everywhere, because I like how that looks. And then last but not least, I have one thing I got to do. I got to show you this white opaque pen. So I'm going to dry this really quick. This is a fast, easy, I mean, we banged this out in what, 2 hours, and I screwed up twice. We still got it done. So this is a fast and easy piece to paint. You can use a variety of stencils if you choose. You don't have to follow the instructions to the letter. In most cases, I think most people come up with some great design choices and great design ideas when they just use the basic outline and then run with their own ideas as far as embellishing them. So there we go.
Hubby is out shopping for Devon and Jackson. When he gets home, I'm going to go play in vegetable garden.
I can't play in mine today. It's raining. So I got my opaque white pen. I'm going to sign my piece.
Of course. And then she's going to blast it with some varnish.
And then it'll get hit with a couple of coats of matte spray.
Oh, okay.
First, and then I'll put a coat of matte varnish, ultra matte varnish, or something like that over top of it. And that's it, guys. That was not a difficult paint. It was a lot of fun. Appreciate your patience waiting for me to base coat everything and transferring line drawings. But
They got to see the whole process.
they did get to see the whole process, for better or for worse.
Deb, you are so lucky. All right, let's switch this camera.
I like it.
There you go.
Hopefully Deb likes it. So I'm going to pack this up and send it off to my partner in crime. She can hang it near her coffee area. And do we have our second winner?
We do.
Yeah, right on.
And,
So yeah, so we have another one of these little surprise packs going out. Who's it going to?
stick it on there.
Gail Jensen. Miss Gail Jensen, you are getting that one. So make sure you go to my website, hit the little speech bubble in the bottom right corner of the homepage, and click on it. Send us your shipping information, and we will get this out to you on Monday. For Wednesday, we've got new video going up for the membership, so watch for that, guys. The link to your materials, your PDF, line drawings, etc., will be available in the community tab and also on the Facebook group. So if you haven't joined the Facebook group yet, it is Tracy Moreau Paid Membership YT group. So the YT for YouTube. Just submit a request to join. Just search that on Facebook and then submit a request to join. And we will let you in. So those two locations, you can find all of your information. And make sure that you download your pattern for the class on the 29th. You have until the 30th to do that, so that you make sure that you get it. And on the 1st of July, new pattern going up, and a new class will be scheduled for the month of August, for the very end of July. So we've got lots going on in the group.
Wait a
So
minute. I gotta look
Hold on. I gotta
What's he
look.
looking for now?
I gotta look at July. Make sure that. Ooh, see. Good thing I looked. So July.
We may have to work around his schedule.
No. You might have to work around your own schedule.
Okay.
Because
What's coming up in July?
we could do it on the 29th, but we can't do it on the 31st.
No, I know, because I'm teaching on the 31st. Yeah,
You also have a live on the 31st. It's a Saturday.
I know.
That's a busy day.
It is a busy day. But yes, around the end of the month.
Around the end of the month.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
We will give you the schedule. And what else?
I don't know.
Next weekend, we're going to do something small, something fun, something easy. We'll post the pattern for that. That freebie will be up, or for the free class on Saturday. It won't be a long one, but we will have some fun on Saturday because I've got a full plate next weekend. I do this to myself. I'm not blaming anybody else. I do this to myself. So, but I don't want to miss on Saturday because I kind of miss seeing you guys if I don't. So, alrighty. So I think that is it for us today. Thanks for joining us. We really do appreciate it. Don't forget, hit the subscribe button to the channel if you haven't already. And watch the Facebook page, my Facebook page, for upcoming stuff, upcoming patterns, upcoming freebies, and a whole bunch of other stuff coming up. And if you haven't joined us, think about joining the membership group because we have a lot of fun and we're loading in as much as we can possibly give you. So
Lots and lots of content for you guys.
lots of content. So thanks for joining me, sticking it out with me today. I appreciate it, you guys. In the meantime, mwah, love you. Make sure you stay safe.